second thing is, according to our friend Jake Fisher, um, the focus in the California Capitol shifts now to what sort of dealing we could see from the Kings' new regime. There's been no shortage of rumble since the hiring of Scott Perry as a general manager. That Sacramento is expected to gauge the trade market for veteran swingman DeMar DeRozan.
Hmm.
Didn't see that coming, did we?
A stunner. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, but it's still.
No, it's
I mean, like we're
notable,
putting
for
it out
sure.
there. Like
Yeah.
if someone is actually saying that what we've said out loud a million times, but putting in written form, I guess we have to look at it. But yeah,
I'm so interested to see what his value is, DeRozan's, on the trade market. Because I get where you, especially you watch the Houston Rockets. It's like, man, they could just use a half court shot creator.
Mhm.
Like you watch the Orlando Magic and you feel a little bit the same way. But I don't know that Houston looks at DeMar DeRozan, and maybe they do. Then they look at him and they go, man, we will give up assets for him.
Mhm.
Or is it one of those things where teams are going, oh, okay, yeah, he's a good scorer, but does he really help our team that much? Like, we'll give you a couple seconds for him. I don't know.
Okay,
I have
so
no idea where his value is going to land on the trade market.
the way I've always looked at DeMar DeRozan is very specific. Like I think he is a net neutral contract.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
A $25 million contract. And I think that there are teams out there that are committed to players that make around what he makes, give or take $5 million up or down.
Sure.
And they're committed to players long term that they may want to move. There are also going to be teams out there. Let's just say, again, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but let's just say like
All hypothetical, no reporting.
Yeah, Cam Johnson, Monty and West are gone, but Cam Johnson is still the guy that the Kings would like to get their hands on.
Not a report. I'm just going to randomly say that here, so this can't be like cut and aggregated. Or
no,
something
of course.
Not a report.
I'm not reporting at all. But Cam Johnson's contract, I think, is 22, 23 million bucks, right? And like DeMar DeRozan's is 25. You could probably swap those players for each other, but in that scenario, again, the Kings are getting a player who's 6 years younger. You're going to have to give up at least a first round pick.
Yeah.
And the reason why a team might do that is number one, the draft pick. But number two, the reason why you would do that is because you might have multiple years of Cam Johnson that you're like, okay, like he just doesn't fit our timeline. And DeMar DeRozan has a $10 million buyout for next season, for not next season, the year after. So
right, 26, 27.
Yeah, and I use Cam Johnson in this conversation, but
not a report.
Think much bigger, because I think that there are going to be other players on the market that are 25, 30, $40 million players, and you might have to package players together. But there's going to be a team out there that looks at an asset and says, okay, look, I would much rather have 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks and get off that contract. And I think that that's where the Kings are going to try to play initially. And then when it comes down to it, if you've got to trade DeMar DeRozan to the Lakers or the Clippers or the Rockets or the Miami Heat, I think that they're easy deals that are, again, net neutral trades for you that just might get you younger and might, get the Miami Heat or some other team a legitimate 20-point per game score. But with you bringing back like better, younger assets that make more sense for your roster.
Yeah. Miami specifically is interesting because I don't know that and I feel this way with Orlando too. You don't want to, you're not just going to probably give away DeMar DeRozan. Like, you're getting something back in return.
Yeah.
Especially just money wise. So I don't know that there's anybody on Orlando that I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. That's the player you got to go get. At least not anybody realistic. And I kind of feel the same way about the Miami Heat. I don't know if there's anybody on the Heat that I'm like, oh man, you got to go get him.
Well, I mean, I think the one player that would make a ton of sense for the Kings on the Miami Heat is Jaime Jaquez. Whether or not
fell out of the rotation.
Yeah, whether or not that they're going to, offer him up is a whole nother question. But I mean, yeah, talk about, he played 20 minutes a game this year. averaged 8.6 points. But long, athletic defender, multi-positional.
Does the little things.
He does, and to see him completely, like, he played 66 games, but only started 17 games. That's the type of player I could see the Kings going, yeah, hey, like, look, why not?
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that Miami would want to give him up.
Well,
that's where, because it takes two to trade, right? So the Kings call and say, hey, Jaquez for DeRozan. And I don't even know if that works financially. There might need to be another player in there just to make the money match. But they asked for that deal, and the Heat go, no, we need a first with that. Like, man, I'd rather just hold on to DeMar at that point.
Well, here's the trade. I'll tell you the trade that would work right away.
Drop it.
Like, straight up.
Not a report.
Not a report.
Not reporting.
But the Kings take on Jaime Jaquez, who makes 3.8 next year.
Minimal contract.
Yep. And the $19.8888 million of Duncan Robinson in exchange for DeMar DeRozan. I could see that being a deal where they go, okay. And I don't even know if you have to give up a draft pick in that. And if you do, it's a second.
Maybe. I don't know how they feel about Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah, I mean,
I got somebody in Miami I can ask. I'll find out if that's a real thing or if this was a one-off thing and they still very much view him as part of their future. Because if they do, then they're not just going to give him away for DeMar.
No, I agree. But, I mean, Miami has always been a team that tries to stay relevant no matter what.
Yeah.
And I could see them committing to DeMar for 2 years where they're like, yeah, I mean, we're getting a 20-point-per-game score.
Yeah.
That would take a lot of pressure off of guys like Bam Adebayo. And
I get the logic of why they would want him.
Yeah.
I don't know that a person in Miami might hear us talking about, like, yeah, Jaime Jaquez and trade for him, and people in Miami going, no, they're not going to trade for him.
Yeah, but he's, especially once Wiggins got there, I mean, he really hasn't played that much.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, I mean, those are the types of trades. Like, again, I think DeMar is an asset still. He's not an asset that you can go trade DeMar straight up for a first-round pick and someone just gives you a first-round pick back. That's not the type of asset he is. But what he is he's a net neutral asset for, if a team lacks scoring, they need someone to score. He's a guy that walks in the door and instantly knows what he's doing. And, without giving up, additional assets, you might be able to address your small forward position in a different way.
The other thing that happened in the lottery last night,